Dun 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 dun. Hey everybody, it's me. True Power is mine. The host of TPIM SR Live. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, we're going to talk about we're all in this together, y'all. Quite literally, it's us. Those of us who embrace liberty, those of us who embrace freedom, those of us who embrace humanity against the horde of the unwashed masses, uninitiated, totally indoctrinated, ignorant to the universal nature of life. I can say this because all you need to look, brothers and sisters, at their actions. Those who actually have the power. Not talking about you who are the powerless. You may be conscious, you may not be, but you're still powerless. We're in this together, friends. It takes courage to stand up and tell the truth. It takes a sense of duty to understand that is what you need to be doing. And it takes honor to carry it out. Brother David, welcome to the show. Peace and power. We are going to go on a trip today, y'all, to where it will be irrefutable, the truth of humanity. Also, I'd like to give out a shout to all the new listeners and subscribers to the channel. Brother Anthony, Sister Sandra, peace and power. Welcome to the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Most High, for getting them up and getting them in here. Also, this Friday, please join me. We'll have retired Senior Chief Navy SEALs Don Shipley on. We'll be talking about a whole host of things from the Epstein bogus picture to what it really means. Existential threats facing this nation and what it really means. The reason why I go so hard on the whole, you got to man up, little brother. You got to support him, little sister. And you also, little sister, you're going to have to use some weaponry yourself, just in case the little brother is not there for you. I'm sorry to say this. This is the state of being in which we find ourselves presently in. Things are going to get rough. Brother Marty, peace and power. Easy D, peace and power. Welcome to the show. But together, brothers and sisters, we are the vanguard of humanity. We are the guardians of the future. A lot of you longtime listeners have seen with your own eyes. You read the headlines after we talked about it on this show. You saw the buildup to this crescendo we're in. And you understand when all the loud noises and blinkering and sounds come upon us, it's all a part of the plan. Whether you fight it or embrace it, you're doing exactly what the system wants you to do because you're enabling it. We need liberation and we need freedom for humanity. Without that, you have nothing. You're just a puppet. You're just a marionette being played. At any second, your position, your status could be snatched from you. You best believe this. Please believe this, especially you well-off brothers and sisters. Please hear me now. I told you this was going to be the year of changing your perception, and it's going to be certainly that. Your wealth, your sense of entitlement, and your sense of status can be snatched from you. 3 points to show that you're not living in a free country. Number one, There's ongoing and continual abuse of melanated men and women, which are citizens just like you. Number two, there is no freedom of speech any longer. If you believe I'm lying, make a terroristic threat. Go to your local theater and yell out fire, and you'll see how much freedom of speech you have, friend. But number three, the most devastating reality point of them all is you literally own nothing. Anything at any time can be frozen, all of your bank accounts. Oh, but I have cash. I have gold, true power. Where do you have it stored at? Your home? Seized. The storage bin that you thought no one knew about? Seized. But I got something buried in the backyard. Okay. Well, good for you. Hopefully you have enough to continue on your lifestyle in perpetuity, but I doubt that would be the case. You see, without realizing it, on a very subconscious level, we all participate in the system. That's why certain people can say slavery was a choice, and other people will actually receive that bullshit and internalize it as a validation. Okay, so we don't have to feel sorry for these people no more. Because we do not understand what we need to understand, and we're too foolish to realize we need to understand it. We're too foolish to realize that there are things beyond our grasp and common knowledge that seek to destroy us. Let's put this in a metaphor point of view. Many of you may have pets from fish to dogs to cats to maybe a elephant, a lion, tiger, what have you. But the difference that separates us as humans from those pets that we possess and we may love or adore or admire, it's the same difference between us and the things I speak on. A dog could fuck you up if it decided that it's going to use its mouth to inflict pain on you. But something within the dog intuitively knows the moment it does it, it's a one shot. It's like a honeybee, y'all. You attack once and you're dead. What's this thing that we're up against? The actual machine, the beast. For the layman's, I guess the things that are not human. You only got one shot at it. Most of us don't even get to take the proper shot. Those of us who are actually cracking on that particular level, when they take their actions, if they're not quick and precise, they're usually dealt with before the event can even occur. A lot of your prayers go unfulfilled because you yourself realize what you're praying for does nothing more than validate the system that you're really frustrated with. Oh Lord, I want more money. Well, how does that help change the system that put you in a situation to where you needed money to begin with? Oh Lord, I need a big fancy house and a car. Once again, how does that change the system? That goes back to our natural indoctrination, our natural, I guess, learning experiences. Now, to the initiated, what I'm talking about makes absolute sense. To the uninitiated, unfortunately, time is about ready to run out for any further instructions. My one regret is that I did not focus more when there was more time afforded me. I've indulged in the pleasures of life. I squandered a lot of time. And every person that is adversely affected because of my lack of ambition my lack of action, I sincerely apologize. But for those who get what I'm saying, for those who understand the purpose of this show, the purpose of the program, the purpose of unity in the equation of liberation, I am absolutely honored and humbled that you trust me enough to bring you the pertinent information that you can share with others. Because this isn't a situation where Lords of the Rings, we're just going to keep my precious to ourselves. Above all else, none are free unless all are free. And I ask the warriors, from hackers to street brawlers, from prisoners to parolees, the warriors in the private schools, and the warriors who dropped out, I ask you, seek out the weak and protect them. Seek out the vulnerable and shield them. I know that's a very unpopular message nowadays. It's mostly about exploitation, taking advantage of. But I sincerely ask you, brothers, to do this. Your destiny could be greater than you can imagine. Do not be selfish with your strength. And you intelligent sisters, I ask that you finally turn on the pyramid. And with the strength of the brothers, let's give it another go. All right, now let's get into it. Two police officers. Hold on, let me scroll this over. I want everyone to be able to see, you know how I am about transparency. Two police officers shot as gunmen opened fire in New Jersey City, developing. Suspects firing from bodega, ambush, damn. Okay. Well, I guess we better tackle the elephant in the room. All of these stories are being used to exacerbate, well, let's face it, the movement to disarm America, the United States of America. All these stories are going to keep on coming. And we can act as if it doesn't matter. But for those who actually own guns or have weaponry of any sort, you should realize there's a big fat target on you now. There's always has been, but now it's all about, we have moved from a society about freedom and liberty to a society about prevention and control. I mean, you would be a total idiot to suggest that, Dylan Roof had a right to possess a firearm to the bitter end. You'd be a fool, because we saw the conclusion of what an individual like that possessing a weapon can cause. You'll be an absolute fool to say, "Oh, the man in Las Vegas that was up there, firing from uh, the hotel room down there on the country music people, he has a right to have Second Amendment right." You'll be a fool to argue these points. And as more of those points are being brought out, the logical conclusion is we need to remove the guns. We need to ensure that men and women can walk around here, correct, without fear of being assaulted or murdered by a gun. But then on this flip side, and this is the paradox, If you can't run around here putting your hands on people or shooting them or stabbing them or whatever, any type of assault, then what is the reason behind the lack of freedom of speech again? Because I thought the whole purpose of freedom of speech was to maintain public like peace and safety or to some degree, especially with the fire in the theater business. But there's all kinds of speech that is allowed that is just terribly frustrating for the people who have to endure such speech. The reason why I bring this up is because I did receive an email from a homosexual viewer. And they, went on to talk about the show is overall cool, you like the emphasis, but they kept on going back to like some of the comments I personally made pertaining to sexual orientation. Let's just say that. But the letter was written in sincerity and it was heartfelt. Sir, I just want to tell you on the air right now, the homosexual activities you may be engaged in is of no consequence on an individual level. Meaning pertaining to you and your personal life, it is what it is. But on a societal level, friend, it's quite devastating because it's not sustainable. Having young men and young boys not fit for battle, fit to actually seize another human being and subdue them and take them out. Because these human beings are on autopilot by some warlord. They're on autopilot by some sort of drug lord. They're on autopilot by some sort of satanic, human hating organization. They are a danger to humanity because this one reality: every gay man and woman on this planet came from straight parents. They came from people actually engaging in straight heterosexual sex. That's how they were conceived. That's how they were born. Not one straight person ever came from a homosexual. Not one straight person in all the history of humanity. Not one straight human being was ever born from a homosexual union. But 100% of the homosexuals were born from a heterosexual relationship. That's the point I want you to get. Now, what you do once we get liberation, that's up to you. But until we get that, we can ill afford to be the victims of an unsustainable practice. Patreon video only on the Patreon channel there. And I know a lot of you Patreon people might not check it because I don't do it consistently, but I did a special video just for y'all. So all you subscribers already, please go over there and check it out. If there's any issues, let me know. I'll make sure, I'll readjust the settings. But time is running out, folks. When austerity hits United States, fascism, neo-Nazi, white nationalist groups, memberships is going to go through the fucking roof. You're not going to stop it. And especially talking all this talk. In many ways, you're a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why I thought it was so important to make this show. We're all in this together. Even the homosexuals, lesbians, transgender, the Furbies, the bestiality people, the people who want to screw robots. I don't know what you call them just yet. We're all in this together. I do believe in freedom in the Republic ideal. There's enough room for all. You keep your garbage in your little bedroom or in your little sex dungeon or wherever you need to do it, out the streets, out of sight. And I'll keep my righteousness up out of your face as well. Because I don't need to flaunt. We just need to survive. That being said, let's continue. Now, I don't know exactly what does that have to do with a couple cops being shot at, but I think the overall underlying cause of the lot of the strikes is because people are not taking this racial issue seriously. People are not taking economic viability issues seriously. And because of our lack of empathy and our lack of being recognized and the frustration that's built, it causes us to act out, which validates the greater majority of people to basically click up. And whether they're cool or not, just out of self-preservation, do you want to fucking be subdued by this motherfucker who basically hates your guts because of what your people done? Or do you just want to roll with these crazy motherfuckers, subdue these people, and just try to eke out a living? Most people default to that setting. So I guess that's why I started off asking all the warriors to protect the weak. Because it's only the warriors within the majority of populations. And if you guys don't think there ain't some badass white boys out there, you're sadly fucking mistaken. This is the point of what I was trying to get the gentleman in the email to understand. And I'm going to go on the record. As far as warriorship goes, and a motherfucker being a badass son of a bitch that can kick some ass and take some names, there's badass homosexuals out there. Gay is a $3 bill, but they can whip some fucking ass. They too have a role to play in liberation. They too deserve freedom. It took a lot for us to get to where we're at today. It took a lot of pain. It took a lot of women going down there on that bed, spreading them legs, allowing the blood and the amniotic fluid to flow out and that baby to come. It took a lot for us to get to where we're at. But we're going to let the same old motherfucks send us off to war again. Send strong men and strong women to die for absolutely nothing other than perpetuating the same hatred, perpetuating the same control. We finally in human history have a shot to rid ourselves of the fucking old world bullshit. Some of us came to the United States willingly. Some of us came because we were the strongest motherfuckers on the ship. And we survived. Once here, some of us enjoyed free land, free opportunities to amass wealth to pass on down. Others of us can only pass down those strong ass genes that endured the whippings, endured the misery of being on a ship trapped, the indignity of being not even considered a human being. But we want to let all that history, all of the overcoming, all the victories to be destroyed for our lack of understanding. One night I was having a talk with Mark from Anaheim, and I was really hyped up about the reparations. I'm like, cut the check now. It was almost like I was caught up in a spell of a sense. But he said something. I guess it kind of started chipping away at all that. When the slaves were free, was that not good enough? Not like good enough for the abuse and shit. Was that not good enough? And I was thinking to myself, and it hit me literally the other day. You're chained up, beat down. They finally set you free. And we already know the precedents for reparations being paid, apparently, is that they're only paid to the generation that was affected. So that's when my mind kicked back from, okay, you know what, then let's just use the books, and anybody who's on the books, cut them a check. But then it starts getting even more blurry, does it not? What happens if there was any type of, I guess, crossbreeding or whatever? Does that person gets less or that person gets more? And then it ultimately dawned on me, we're about ready to hit a point of automation. That means we're quite literally going to hit a point where a lot of you brothers and sisters won't have a job. And I know you want to work. I'm going off record here for a second. The reason why I know you want to work, because friend, and you best believe me, the moment your ass sits down and you stop working, you're dead. You're dead, friend. So that's why I know intuitively everybody wants to work. And any lazy person that you see out there, honestly, they're just really suicidal. That's universal law. You stop moving, you're going to the grave. All right, now let me get back into it. Automation's coming. Billions of people are going to be displaced, from your paralegal all the way down to your delivery driver. Your little pickers and pullers for stock purposes, you guys are about done. A lot of you forklift operators, bye-bye. Bye-bye. The unions are broken, y'all. The reason why the unions are broken is because, for one, they were a den of filth and basically racist cunts. Nepotism through the hilt. More concerned with fulfilling some bullshit legacy ideal instead of protecting workers' rights. And you, consumer, you have some blame as well. Consciously, oh, I'm going down to Walmart, I'm going to buy this, that, and the other, coming from a fucking sweatshop situation. Really, if you look at the world, like the whole world was the United States, and this is like 1847. You got goods coming in from the South, which is China, using slave labor. And you got the northern workers, factory workers, which is basically the United States. And the people in the United States, instead of buying goods from the factory workers to allow them to have a decent life and the whole economy to be full circle, you keep breaking the circle and sending money outside of the system into the slavery system, which is China. Now, there's a few sellout traders in the United States that's going to get paid, the Walton family and others. But it's going to be at the detriment of you. That's why they're talking about putting your ass in a tiny house. That's why 700 more thousand of you guys are going to be kicked off food stamps. And ultimately, that's why the Georgia Guidestones are going to become so true. You're marked for death. You're too ignorant to unify for a common cause and purpose. Therefore, in many ways, we're doomed. I hope I'm a lie. I hope that I can be proven wrong. I hope that the world can be like, man, fuck you. We can unite. We are humans. Fuck these fascists. Fuck these racists. Fuck these misogynistic. Fuck the fucking uber fucking crazy fucks. And we're going to defend humanity from these forces. Because at the end of all of that other ideologies and fear is the master of death and destruction. If you want life and all the beautiful expressions thereof, it's about preserving and nurturing. not dominating and subjugating. But there's two forces, a third mighty force, but unfortunately we're disunified, so we're a nil factor at this point. But the two dominant forces with their polarizing ideals are both serving the master of death. No matter who wins, the master of death wins. That's why you're just doing what the system wants you to do. If you're not really about liberation, if you're not really understanding what liberation truly is, it's not a change of fucking hat. It is a change of thought. Realizing it's better to serve humanity and be one with humanity than just to be the individual or just to be a outside group or inside group. We are not alone in this universe. Never have been, never will be. We're just being ignored because if you see a pack of retarded bastards, are you going to be quick to run over there and interact with them? No, you wouldn't. Now you'll watch the foolishness from a distance, but you're not going to interact with them. But that's how we're behaving. Retarded as fuck. And if we don't come out of this, if we don't understand that to every organizations, different people play different functions. There's some people who have to work on the streets. Some people have to work in the office. Some people have to work in the studio. Some people have to work in the printing press. Some people have to work in the fundraising aspect of it. No one person can do it all. So true as no one group can do it all pertaining to humanity in its present form. Now, if we go back in time, things are different. Variables are different. But in the time in which we're in now, with the rich biodiversity, the only enemy that we truly have to worry about is the man or woman who have hate in their heart for us. They can smile at you. They can pat you on the back. But if that spirit is set to hate, you're not long for this earth. Now, a lot of people think that somehow, some way, shape, or form, that a war will be awesome. Because I get so many questions about the Civil War, World War III. And really, they're not questions for me, okay? I get it. There's really questions for the guests that I've had on, and you send them to me, and you want me to ask them the questions, which I often do. The general sense that I'm realizing from all the different sources is that not only are we actively in World War III, unfortunately, at this point in time, there is no stopping it. So, in other words, we've seen 2 shootings on bases. We've seen a cyber attack. These things don't happen by chance. No matter how much, they're just so obvious. And so many people, we're seeing UFOs appearing out the blue, dropping stuff. We're about ready to get a black 24-hour news station of some sort. All this stuff is happening, not by happen chance, people. These things are occurring so those of us who are somewhat in the know can bear witness and see the playbook unfold. That is what's so sad about how we've been played. So many of us with good hearts, good souls, have been so utterly wrong, it twists them in the mind. I have empathy for you, brothers and sisters. I really do. There are some of us who believe that we don't even need to exist. And these are the people writing the next algorithm. These are the people producing the next miracle drugs. If you love your mom, if you love your dad, you love your brothers and your sisters, and the rest of your family, if you love yourself as well, and you're over the age of 18, I recommend to you military service for two very vital reasons. One, you will have access to food, water, bedding, money. Two, you will actually be getting training that will help you overcome, let's just say, any physical difficulties. A lot of people die in natural disasters from hurricanes to tornadoes because they were ill prepared. And even after the event, they don't know how to take care of themselves. How many of you guys would literally not know what to do if you couldn't run up there into that bathroom, press a button, and flush the toilet? How many of you would really know how to, after Walmart, Kroger's, Ralph's, Albertsons, all these stores gone, no more food up there, barren, still racks? How many of you will really know how to gut an animal and clean it and prepare it to be cooked properly? And you want to talk about what would happen if the society collapsed right now today? If the society collapsed right now today, a lot of brothers and sisters will not make it because they are ill prepared. Wearing fancy shoes and fancy clothes won't help you. Knowing how to do your makeup and curl your hair ain't gonna cut it. I only say this because I'm not good at keeping a secret. I've been given information that I've sat on for a little while now that there is once again this event coming to this country and the shape we're in now. You all know I am no fan of Donald J. Trump, but he is our president. I'm no fan of Nancy Pelosi, but she is the Speaker of the House, or not the Speaker of the House, Speaker of the Senate. That represents all of us. It's a shame we don't get our act together and elect people we all can say, hey, you know what? This individual might not agree with me on all issues, but they're a solid human being, and I know they're going to do the right thing for all of us collectively. Nope, we can't have that. Black folks, you're going to get people who don't give a fuck about you. White folks, you're going to get the same. Latin people, you're going to get a person that, for all intents and purposes, are kind of making headway for your people politically in this country. But that next generation coming up ain't going to give a fuck. Asian folks, well, other than out west, there's not a heavy saturation of political people from your particular group. Definitely on the national scene, there's not. What am I saying? I'm saying ultimately, we already have a situation where it's us against them. The us is the wealthy and their goons, and them are us peasants, peons, undesirables, outlaws, renegades, nonconformists, critical thinkers. There really is no in between anymore. You're either rolling with the goon, you're going to be a sycophant for the rich, or you're going to be a fan of liberation. It's really almost that simple. You might not call it liberation, but that's ultimately what you're striving for. Look at these rings. Mm-mm-mm. Once again, this is slavery right in front of your face. The people who pick these so-called precious gems in the third world shitholes so that you can buy something and try to tell somebody you love her, giving her this filth. Fuck giving a ring to a chick. Give her a baby. Give her a gift that grows and goes and outlasts her. Okay, Exxon. Prevailing climate change lawsuits. What? Well, this is some turn up, huh? ExxonMobil prevails in New York climate change lawsuit. The lawsuit says Exxon caused investors to lose up to $1.6 billion by falsely telling them it had properly evaluated the impact of future climate regulations on its business. I don't see how that's necessarily a win for the environment. New York, December 10th, Reuters. A judge on Tuesday ruled in favor of ExxonMobil Corp in a lawsuit brought by New York State accusing the oil company of hiding from investors the true cost of addressing climate change. I bet they did. Okay, let me see right here. The lawsuit by the Office of New York State Attorney General said, Miss James said that ExxonMobil caused investors to lose up to 1.6 billion by falsely telling them it had properly evaluated the impact of future climate regulations on its business. A lawsuit, I could have swore I just read that. The lawsuit said the company told investors it was projecting the impact of future regulations by using a proxy cost of up to $80 per ton of carbon emission in wealthier countries. That's what I'm talking about right there. Carbon emissions. I don't think it's going to say anything. Carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere and emissions of other GHGs are often associated with the burning of fossil fuels like natural gas, crude. Hold on. For all the critical thinkers out there, you guys hopefully see what I'm seeing. This is straight propaganda because for one, how can natural gas be a true fossil fuel when landfills that we have right now with our banana pills of the day and dirty diapers and whole gambit and the trash soup makes natural gas? They actually will tarp off the whole landfill, put up collectors, and they'll siphon off the natural gas on that. This whole idea of fossil fuels, man, is kind of silly. And I'm just going to say it, and hopefully in the future it'll be proven true. The earth makes oil. I noticed this as a boy around the campfire. When you look at the wood as it burns, it makes what? You can see this line of oil it makes as it burns all the way down to ash. What do you think as our tectonic plates are moving and land masses are being grounded against each other? That creates friction and heat, high pressure, which will produce oil. It's not being made from dinosaur meat. Dinosaur meat long been gone. The bones of the dinosaurs don't have shit in it. It's organic materials now. So I honestly believe that oil is probably just as common as diamonds are. They probably just as common as diamond is. But anyhow, that's a whole nother topic. Let's get back to the actual news of the day, and then I'll be wrapping it up. I know I just been kind of like everywhere today, but when am I ever just on one particular topic ever? So numerologists overjoyed as final full moon a decade peaks on 12/12 at 12/12. Well, that's kind of new. Now, for anybody out there that's into numerology, you might be able to enlighten us on that. I know a little bit about, like, I guess the basic structure of astrology and all that because I like just to know about many different topics, but I'm no expert in that type of numbers games. Now, you get me on 369, 108, um, those magical numbers. I can talk from the magical point of view that I've researched, but I would like to know more. Okay. Nearly 175 Saudi military aviator students rounded up in the United U.S. after base shooting. Like I said, the state can snatch you up anytime. No one's untouchable. That's why you have to be so careful when you're I guess venting your frustration with the system. That's why I keep on warning you all. Do not blow your cover. Now my cover's already blown. You know what I mean? We all should be well aware the show's being monitored. I mean, hell, it's being monitored by somebody. If we can have 45, 75 people in it sometimes and only two, not two, but like 14, 20 something likes, that lets you know people are listening. They might not even agree with the show, but they're listening. And that's half the battle. This show is about facilitating critical thinking in reference to common cause and purpose. The common cause should be liberation, and the purpose is life. It's really that simple, and there you go. I broke it down for anybody who has been wondering, well, what is this common cause and purpose he's talking about? There you go. There it is. Pensacola, hit by cyber attack. Military bases increasing security after shooting in Hawaii and Florida. Now, let's think about it. Florida, easternmost part of the United States. Hawaii, well, other than Guam, but some could argue the most western part of the United States. Now all they got to do is north to south. And then you made a big fat crosshair in the United States. For what it's worth, man, we have better prioritize some things as citizens because I'm a citizen of the United States. I openly say that. I've been a citizen of the United States since 1972. I have no citizenships or allegiance to any other nation except for humanity in general. I am loyal to humanity. But being any type of real man, my first loyalty in the political sphere or game is to my country. My second loyalty in the whole political game is to people who are about right versus wrong. Not Democrat, not Republican, not even libertarian, but just right. I don't care what you could be whatever. Because some people are Democrat because daddy or mommy was Democrat. Some people are Republican because, it pays the bills, whatever. But are you right or are you wrong? And finally, the last thing I'm dedicated to, as far as this political game is concerned, is actually voting. Whether the person I vote for win or lose, it doesn't matter. Vote. Oh, but the electric voting, who gives a shit? Vote. Because a lot of that bullshit is just that. Take your ass down there and vote. Vote for your conscience. Vote for just the fun of it. Vote just to make the voter people count another ballot. I don't care why you vote, but vote. You're a citizen. That's your duty. That goes back to here. And if you're a citizen and you appreciate the men and women in the uniform, they're actually willing to put their lives and their butts on the line so that we can have this sense of freedom, or the sense of, at least we don't have a fucking warlord straight up dictating to us on a day-to-day what the fuck we got to do. Then you vote for political people that will ensure that when they go to war, they go total to war with all the resources and all of our backs. We got them. No piecemeal, no, we're just gonna send you in, but you can't shoot until they shoot, and you get killed when no, none of that. That's what's wrong. I ain't gonna vote. My vote don't count. Okay. So then they win. The people who voting automatically wins. Scratch whatever you got to say politically. If you have that philosophy, I ain't gonna vote my vote, then just go on. You can talk about whatever, absolutely, but no one's gonna hear what the hell you're saying. Get up, get in action, and do something positive. And voting, whether you vote for this one or that one or third, will be positive to you. Hopefully, you will research who you're voting. That would be the logical course. I mean, I'm just going to tell you from a logical point of view, the way I engage in voting, I figure out the issues. I see how those issues will affect me and my operation, and I vote accordingly. I find out who's running for office, what type of person they are. In my local elections, I had the benefit of knowing a lot of the local politicians, so I know what type of people they are. So it's very easy for me to cast my vote. On the national level, I don't know. I'm well traveled, not that well traveled though. I only can extract what I get off the internet, different articles or whatever, and I vote accordingly. And the only thing I'm voting nationally for, it really doesn't even matter. It's the president. I mean, the popular vote is just the popular vote. I'm not an electoral college member. But sometimes even in our state senators that go, or representatives that go up there, I like to know what they're about. And they may not be from my county, but they represent me because I'm in their district. You see, we have a very powerful weapon. It's a game-changing weapon. It's called the ballot box. And if enough of us are on the same accord, enough of us have the same purpose in mind, we can affect the political change we want to see. But we're not going to achieve this with slogans and rhetoric and feel good talk. We can only achieve this with a comprehensive understanding of the present situation and take it from there. This will conclude TPIM. That's our live for today. Today's date, December 10th, 2019, the year of our Lord. As always, I want to ask you to live your life with integrity without hate, envy, or greed. Brothers and sisters, I sincerely ask that you please be kinder to one another. Peace and power, unity and victory, dignity and respect, liberation. I'm out.